Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Hope with Alex. Today we are talking about a super important topic, self-love. And a lack of self-love will make you do crazy things like what I did in my life. If you watched my testimony, you heard about it. It was the root cause for my addiction. But this progressed. I mean, when I became a Christian, when I got sober, I still had extremely low self-esteem. And it made me not go out in public because I was embarrassed that I was having acne. It made me not wear certain clothes, and because of that, again, like shame and guilt because I couldn't fit into certain pairs of jeans. Like, it can be absolutely crippling. And I think it's something that, especially us women, need as much help as we can possibly get because there are easy days and there are hard days. But I have written down in here that I'll go over at the end of this video 6 tips. So if you don't have a lot of time, feel free to just fast forward, get to those tips. But if you have some time, I'd love for you to stick around so you can kind of hear a little bit of backstory and then hear, you know, kind of how I overcame this, if that makes sense. So anyways, I am so grateful that you are here. There's going to be a lot of exciting changes going on this channel. I'm trying to figure out ways to make it better, just as far as being more concise with my Bible studies. And I'm going to actually hopefully start audio recording these through a podcast app, so that if you don't have time to watch a video, you can just listen to exactly what I'm talking about right now on a podcast. So it's obviously not happening yet. I don't have headphones in, but hopefully soon that will be an option. So anyways, thank you for being here. I am so grateful, and I hope that you will get some good advice out of this. Let's dive in. All right, you guys, so I'm gonna just give a little bit of a backstory just in case you haven't watched my testimony as to like the struggles that I've had with self-esteem and self-love. And then I will dive into kind of how I decided that's it, I can't handle this anymore and I need to change. And then I'll dive in last but not least into the tips. And I chose to talk about self-esteem first because, as you know, this channel is all about talking about hardships along with Bible studies. And I just figured let's just start at the beginning of my story because I feel like there's so many pieces to my testimony that I want to break down. And I have ideas for like all of them, but you know, you got to start somewhere. So I think why not just start at the beginning? And then like always, I'm going to have Bible study going on at the same time. So feel free to jump into that. It is on Luke, and I will post a little, you know, banner up here so you can watch it whenever you want. If you're not liking this video, then go click on that and do a Bible study instead. But all right, let's get into it. So from a very, very, very young age, I'm talking kindergarten, I had terrible self-esteem. I felt so different from everybody else. I felt ugly, I felt like hairy, and that sounds so weird and it's probably like so embarrassing. And I even debated like talking about this, but there are women out there that just like have more hair than other women. So, you know, I had hairy arms, like I still shave my arms. I had like a little bit of peach fuzz, if you want to call it that, above my upper lip. Like, trust me, like even saying this is like so embarrassing, but I feel like it's not talked about enough. It honestly isn't. Like women, like we have to wax, we have to tweeze, we have to use laser and electrolysis. Like there are businesses out there making money for hair removal. So obviously a lot of us have this, and I don't even think we should call it an issue. It's just the way we were made. But the point is, I looked different than most of the girls in my elementary class, so I felt very insecure and I felt different. And when you're little or even in high school, you just want to fit in. You don't want to stand out. You want to be cool. And that wasn't cool. So I just remember even wearing like sweatshirts during the summer, and I'd be so hot, but I didn't want to like show my hairy arms. So I would be wearing like thick sweatshirts and playing outside during recess, you know, but it was like, I was just so embarrassed. So it just made me feel very insignificant, and it made me feel like an outcast. And due to those feelings, I was very easily triggered when somebody was mean to me or wasn't like super nice in return to like when I was kind to them. I did get bullied a little bit. So with that, it just was like an instant trigger, and it was like, oh my gosh, I am like so embarrassing. I'm like the weirdest kid ever. So when I was 8 years old, I dealt with suicidal thoughts, and I just thought that maybe me, taking my own life would make my family happy because I thought I was embarrassing to them. And I just felt like I was so different that I shouldn't be, around. I shouldn't be a part of society. The fact that those tendencies were happening at such a young age, it's just like, dear goodness, self-esteem is so important. This is a very, very serious thing that you need to get a hold of. And so I then, when I became, in middle school and high school, obviously like I was old enough to shave or wax, and I did that. And you'd think that that would kind of make the issue go away. But I think those feelings of worthlessness and being an outcast still stuck with me throughout the high school and middle school years. So once I was introduced to alcohol and drugs, that kind of became my crutch and made me feel better, and it made me feel pretty. It made me forget about my insecurities, and it made me feel like I fit in. Most importantly, especially like I said, like young teenage kids, we just want to fit in. So it made me fit in. I felt so cool. I felt popular, and that's why my addiction went crazy, because I just needed to feel like I wasn't an outcast. And it just progressed. Like these didn't go away. I always felt ugly. I always felt different than other people. Like I legit would not go out of the house not wearing makeup until like a year and a half ago. I would never ever, like I would drive and do my mascara in the mirror, like so dangerous, but I would never go places in public without makeup on. And it was just because of my poor self-esteem. It's fine to wear makeup, but not in the way that I was, because I was just like terrified that somebody would see me without makeup on and think I was hideous. So it didn't get better, is my point. And when I became a Christian, it didn't go away. My self-esteem issues did not go away. And that's something that I've done a few podcasts lately with as a guest on some people's shows, and we've touched on this a lot, is that truly just because you're a Christian, it does not mean your issues go away and everything's all rosy-posy. I think that is such a misconception. And even just with getting sober, just because like that's so much of my story, you think the same thing, everything's going to be easy. It is not. It is not easier. It's actually like, I dare to say sometimes it's harder, because now you like are dealing with navigating faith, and you have these new convictions that you didn't have before you were a Christian. But the difference is now you have God, and you have this source of wisdom and knowledge and comfort that you can call upon when difficulties happen. So when I became a Christian, still had the self-esteem issues, still was wearing makeup everywhere I went. I'm telling you, there were times that like I would get invited to a birthday party, but I had just like picked at my face and it was all red and inflamed. So I would cancel. I wouldn't go because I was just too embarrassed. And I didn't also like, when you pop your face, like you don't want to cover up all of that with makeup all over again, because it just clogs the pores even more. So yeah, I missed out on a lot of life because of my insecurities. And finally, it really got to a point where I just got so tired of hearing from people, and even way back when I was a little girl, hearing from people that I was beautiful and gorgeous and pretty, and I literally thought people were lying to me. I literally thought people looked at me, thought that I was ugly, felt bad for me, and then told me, oh, you're so pretty. And then I would just be like, oh my gosh, like you guys are so mean, like you're lying to me. So I literally, like, whenever people told me that, that is usually the thought that I had. Sure, I had like a few good days where, you're feeling yourself, you look cute, whatever, like we all have those moments, but it wasn't often. And especially it wasn't often like once I got married, and if my husband told me I looked beautiful without my makeup on, like with all my pimples, you know, I 100% thought he was lying in those moments, because it's like, no, I do not look pretty. Like, are you looking at the same person? You're lying to me. So then it was even hard to listen to my husband when I felt pretty, when I was all dressed up and had makeup on and he told me I was beautiful, because I just thought that it was just something he was saying because it was polite and the right thing to do. So my point is, like, I really got tired of this, and I was like, I am so sick of thinking that people are lying to my face all the time. And I started really realizing, you know what, if I don't change this behavior, it's never going to get better. Like, I'm always going to be thinking people are lying to me my entire life. I'm always going to have this like low self-esteem that's just going to make me put all these limitations on me. And this can be relevant for losing weight too, because I've struggled with weight loss here and there throughout my life, and it's so easy to beat yourself up and feel like you're so unworthy and gross. And it can make you not do things too, because you don't feel cute enough to like go out and do stuff. So it's unbelievable, and like what this issue can do in your life. And I started to realize that it was a serious limitation, and I didn't want to live that way anymore. So I really tried to start diving into how can I start healing from this, you know, and I'm going to go into the tips now, but the one thing that actually like really helped me was realizing I'm the only person who can love myself. These people can love me all they want, but until I truly love myself, it's never going to matter how much positive affirmations I get or compliments. It's always going to be a struggle. And I was just so sick of the struggle. And I realized, you know, I need to like try loving myself and really like believing what they tell me and really taking it to heart. So it's one of my tips in here, but I just wanted to say, like, that was one of the big ones that really hit me. So I hope maybe that hits you in the same way it did for me. And if it didn't, let me tell you my 6 tips. So hopefully something can help you with your self-esteem. Number 1 is when you have a negative thought, say something positive. So this can even just be like, oh my gosh, I'm so fat. And then immediately I want you to say, gosh, but my butt looks good. Or just something like that. Like you're gonna have negative thoughts. It's gonna happen. It happens all the dang time. I still do it. But just saying almost just like the opposite truth, it will help a ton, because I don't want you entertaining those negative thoughts. There are so many studies out there that talk about the power of our thoughts and the power of our words. So if we are continuously saying, I am so ugly, I am so ugly, honestly, you might start looking a little bit uglier than if you were walking around saying, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. I don't know what it is, but there is some serious power to it. And there was a study where somebody spoke to water, and they said, you know, similar stuff that we're talking about. They said positive things and they said negative things to water, like water you drink. And they looked under it, under the water, underneath like some kind of like electrolysis microscope, whatever you call it, electron microscope. And the water, oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. I'm going to try to find like the video and I'll link it below, but it shows like the water would create these beautiful crystals that almost look like snowflakes when you spoke like positive things to it. And when you spoke negative, the water would look super jagged and all crazy and like angry, really. So remember, we are made up of water. I think we're made like up like 70%, 76% water. So just think how much power you really do have over just your thoughts and just your words. It really matters. So whenever you have a negative thought, say something positive. Number 2, if you're a Christian, then I started praying this often when I really decided to take a hold of my self-esteem issues. And I would ask God to show me how He saw me. And I think that's a really cool prayer to pray, because God thinks we're beautiful and He created us for a purpose. And with all of our flaws, if you really do have flaws, whatever, then God created you that way, and that's a gift, and that's beautiful. And I know, trust me, it's easier said than done to like actually preach that, because I don't know like what kind of flaws you have. You could be like, no, you don't understand. I wasn't just hairy, you know, I had like some crazy scar, whatever. It doesn't matter, because God literally thinks you're beautiful. Honestly, like the point I'm getting to is it really doesn't matter how we look. It's what's on the inside. But point is, start asking God to show you how he thinks you are. And really cool things will happen. You will have a change in your confidence. Because this leads to my part 3, which is look at things that you like about yourself on the inside, not the outside. And that's kind of like what I think God actually had me do when I started praying that he would show me what he thinks I look like, or like how he looks at me. Because what I realized is there is a lot of stuff that I love about myself that is going on in the inside. You know, I love that I have empathy and compassion from my past. You know, I'm able to like be kind to people and understand where they're coming from. And when I started to talk to myself, like when I was feeling negative, and start mentioning things or point out things to myself, or even just with journaling, just being more aware, like keeping it in the forefront of my mind that I have these beautiful things on the inside of me, it really started to make me more confident, which was an absolute shock to me because I always thought confidence came from the outside. But truly, this step, number 3, is what made me realize confidence comes from the inside out. I'll say that again. Confidence comes from the inside out. Okay? Okay. Because it just does. If you are not comfortable with who you are on the inside, your values, your morals, the way you treat people, the way you love people, then you're not going to have comfortable, you know, stuff with the outside of your face, with the outside of your body. So I really think if you literally cannot think of one thing that you love about your exterior, no problem. Sit down and write down everything you can think of that you love about your interior. And I guarantee there's going to be something. Trust me. Just think about what people have told you over your life. I'm sure somebody has said they love your personality, or they love how you make them laugh, or they love how honest you are. And just start holding on to that. When you have those negative thoughts, that's a positive thing that you can say to yourself. And that is going to start helping shift your mentality. My 4th tip is that I want you to accept where you're at right now. That is so hard. I understand it 100% is. Even now, like I'm doing this video and like I have a little bit of a breakout. So it was kind of like, well, should I wait till tomorrow to do this video? But then I was like, you know what? No, like this is who I am. Like I still struggle with acne. I don't know if it's ever going to go away. God willingly it will, but maybe it never will. And I'm going to have to just be who I am, put myself out there, not hide when I get invited, you know, to a birthday party, and just do it. So I want you to try to start accepting yourself right now, who you are. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, because if you keep thinking about the future and you're like, oh, well, like once my acne is better, then, you know, I'll like start saying yes to these things, or, oh, once I'm skinnier, you know, I'll start like wearing those cute clothes. I would honestly even challenge you, because like I said, like I struggled with weight gain, especially when I got sober. I gained weight, as most men do when you get sober. And it was really shameful. You know, you couldn't believe you didn't fit into your clothes, but I don't remember what time it was. I don't remember like what time when I gained weight I did this, but I went out and bought some clothes that fit me in the size that I had never been, whatever. I bought clothes for myself. And there was something in doing that where it's like, hey, who you are right now is fine, and you're beautiful, and you know, it's okay to buy these clothes. And you know, once I lost the weight, I probably donated it or like sold it online or something, but it just helps you like even mentally be able to put on a pair of clothes that fits you and be like, oh, okay, like this is okay. Like this is who I am, and I love who I am, and it's okay that I bought these cute clothes. And I'm telling you, like, you don't have to go buy, like, if you like nice clothes, like what I like nice clothes, you don't have to necessarily, like, if you know you're gonna lose weight, whatever, you don't have to go buy clothes from whatever like nice store you like. You could buy clothes that are on sale, or from a thrift store, or, you know, just from even like a less expensive store. But just the fact of like being okay with buying some stuff like right now to fit your body size, I think it's just gonna help you with that step of loving who you are right now. All right, so number 5 is the next tip, and it is the one that I touched on a little bit. before I went into the steps, which is to realize if you don't love yourself, this lack of self-worth will never change. It's not humble to not love yourself. It is a form of respect. God created you, and hating yourself is dishonoring Him. So there's a lot there, because this step is so important, because if you don't love yourself, then how are people's compliments? It's never going to impact you the way that they think it's going to help you. Like, people can love you to death, and until you love yourself, their love is never going to matter. And that is like really something that made me sad, because I didn't want to think that the people closest to me, especially my husband, I didn't want to think for the rest of my life that he was lying to me, because I truly thought he was lying to me when he told me that I was beautiful. And through realizing that and being like really tired of just always having to have that wall up, that's when I was like, okay, well, let's try this out. Let's try loving myself. And I also thought that loving yourself was an act of like selfishness, which it totally isn't. I thought it was humble in a way to tell people, oh no, I'm not pretty, when they told me I'm pretty. Or I thought it was humble to, when somebody said, hey, you're really smart, like that was a great job, I would be like, oh no, like not really. It was just like, oh my gosh, it was like an accident that I like thought of that. So point is, I thought it was humble, and it is not humble to discredit your intelligence, your beauty, your kindness. It's actually in a way disrespectful to God, because He created you with those beautiful traits, and you shoving them down and saying that they're a mistake or not real or by chance, it's insulting to your Creator. So really believing in your heart and really accepting that you are beautiful, and I mean beautiful as from the inside out, realizing that you really are beautiful and you're fearfully and wonderfully made from the inside, it's going to help you, I think, start loving yourself and realizing, again, only you can love yourself at the end of the day. And people can love you, people can hate you all their lives. It might even fluctuate whatever during your life. But if you can just stand firm and always love yourself despite what's going on around you, then hot dang, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. And that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be all right. I wanted to be confident, because I was so sick of being insecure, because it is crippling. All right, so the last tip I have that's more of a practical one for having better self-esteem is sticky notes. Sticky notes everywhere. Sticky notes on your bathroom mirror, sticky notes on your kitchen, refrigerator, sticky notes on your door that say these things that I've been telling you to try to think of. I want these sticky notes to say, I am really nice, or I have a really nice butt. But maybe if you like live with your parents, then put that one on your personal bathroom mirror. Don't put that out by the refrigerator. But point is, put some sticky notes around your house in places that you'll see them all the time, in your car, at your workspace, and read them. And that's why I like the bathroom mirror the most, because every night you should be brushing your teeth every morning, maybe even during the day, and that's your opportunity to be reading something. And that's why even when I first got saved, I put Bible verses up on sticky notes so that I could, start like memorizing scripture. So you could do that too. And you could also just put sticky notes up that are nice positive affirmations for yourself. And if you are Christian and you're struggling with self-esteem, then go into the Bible and write down on these sticky notes Bible verses that talk about yourself. There's that Bible verse that I love. It's in Song of Solomon, and it says, "You are altogether lovely. There is no flaw in you." And that's just beautiful, because that truly is how the Creator sees us. Because remember I said, like, love yourself despite your flaws? God says there's no flaws. Like, actually, like, the way that you were created is beautiful and perfect in God's eyes. It's just the world that makes you think that there are flaws, but you are not flawed. You are flawless. Like, how beautiful is that? It really is beautiful. So I hope that this helped you. I hope that you got some good information, and I just want you to know that you're not alone in thinking that you're not worthy enough or not pretty enough or not skinny enough. It is such a common thing, and I'm sure you know it. And thankfully, media has been changing the women that we are seeing. They're more diverse. They're doing lack of Photoshop. Like, this is a good thing. This is something that should have been happening a long time ago, but I think that's helping a lot for us to see, like, wow, that girl actually looks like me. This is cool. This is encouraging. And no, please, out of all of this, just the one thing I really want you to take away is that self-esteem, self-love does not come from the outside. It just doesn't matter, because we're all gonna have, you know, things that we really don't like about ourselves at one point or another, like whether it's wrinkles or acne if you're young or whatever. But I'm telling you, some of the most beautiful women I know are, you know, aging, whatever, they have wrinkles, you know, they're 80 years old, but they are some of the most beautiful women I know because their confidence is coming from the inside, in who they know they are on the inside. And through that, they are gorgeous. And same with people that have acne. This one woman, when I first got saved, we would go do Bible studies together and go on hikes, and, you know, she had some acne, no big deal, but myself, I was like, oh my gosh, like, how is she so confident to like go do all these things and run these Bible studies? Like, I was so embarrassed by my acne, but she was so confident. And because of that, I barely ever even noticed her skin. I just noticed how beautiful she was for her confidence in the Lord and for, you know, being brave and sharing and putting herself out there. And so, I mean, I thought she was gorgeous. I absolutely did. So just like look at your life and look at women around you that you think are beautiful, and then try to think, okay, do they have any like flaws? And I bet they do, but you probably don't notice it because they're just like confident from the inside out. So please start looking at what you love about yourself on the inside, and then I bet you it's gonna start shifting and it's gonna make you feel beautiful on the outside. I really appreciate this. I am so grateful to be able to just be here talking to you guys. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And oh my gosh, yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to mention. Why I'm saying like I'm so grateful is because something that I've been embarrassed of for so many years is my ears. I always thought they were too big and they protruded out too much. So like I always wanted to get like my ears like tapered back. And legit, like you can ask my husband, like, and those close to me, like I went to plastic surgeons and talked about that, and thankfully I didn't do it, because now it's just something that like I realize like it's just who I am. It makes me who I am, and there's no flaw about it. It doesn't matter that my ears aren't, you know, glued to the side of my head, which is beautiful. Obviously I wanted to do that, but this is beautiful too. So anyways, I'm just really grateful that I can even be doing this video with my hair up and with my ears showing, because 2 years ago, no way, I would have never been able to do this. And that's why like these tips really, really help me. And if you notice, like if you're not a Christian, like not all of it was God-centered. Some of it was just actually like being intentional with your thoughts and your words. That will make a huge difference. And if you are a Christian, saying that prayer to ask God to have him show you how he sees you. There's something there. I don't know what it is, but it really helps. All of it helps. So, oh, and last but not least, please leave a comment below for everybody to see if you have some awesome tips about how you overcame self-esteem and self-esteem issues. Please, I want to hear as much as possible. So leave a comment below, tell me something that worked for you. And until next time, God bless you. I hope you're doing okay. Don't give up on hope. There's always a reason to keep going in life. Everything is a season. Just remember that. Everything is a season in your life. And things do get better. Things do change. You just have to hang in there. Please hang in there. So just know my DMs are always open on Instagram at Hope with Alex if you need personal prayer. Or you can leave a comment below. That's fine too. But if you want something like in private, just know I'm on Instagram, and I would be happy to pray for something specific for you if you're struggling with something. So, all right, you guys, take care, and I'll talk to you very soon.